Welcome aboard, folks, and welcome back to my regular viewers. My name is Rod. I am a pilot with one of our nation's leading legacy carriers here in America, currently operating the Boeing 737 aircraft out of Atlanta, Georgia. And in today's video, we'll be talking about a foundational skill that is a trademark of the dedicated professional. And as the title would suggest, yes, it is a shoe shine. I like to call it the captain shoe shine. It's one of those skills that you develop over time. First question is, should you even bother? I mean, why would you do it, right? It's easier not to do it. Of course, it's always easier not to do the right thing. So when you have a properly shined shoe, it basically tells the world that you're highly dedicated to your profession, to your craft. Because if you take the time to shine your shoe, you will certainly take the time to do all the other things that are extremely important. And that's the idea. As one guy that I worked with put it, he's never worked with somebody that had a fantastic shoe shine that was not an excellent professional. So that's what we're going for here, is that business scar, that first introduction impact, so to speak, so that you can get your best foot forward and make the best introduction possible. That being said, folks, these are overdue, and I kind of let them pass a little bit. You're going to be seeing before and after shots of this. They still look okay. I did let them lapse and go beyond what I would like, to be honest, but just to make the video for you. So that's just to bring it to you. So I'll give a good contrast of before and after. One thing to keep in mind, how shiny your shoe gets really does depend on the quality of the leather, the type of leather, and its overall quality. Not all shoes will get to the same level of shine. And you also may not want to get that ultimate glass shine if you're going to beat the shoe a lot, because that will require a high level of maintenance. So perhaps a little bit less shine will be more even level of shine throughout the months between the peak and the lows, right? This right here are the Allen Edmonds Oxford cap toes. So obviously an iconic shoe. I absolutely love it. I think it is just awesome. As far as the design, it's absolutely traditional, timeless design, gorgeous, well crafted. Of course, Allen Edmonds, top of the line, absolutely gorgeous shoe. And I use more than one. I have two that I keep in rotation. So if one starts to look a little bit bad, but the other one is good to go, I'll use the other one until I have the time for me to bring the used one back up to the same level of shine. So when we're working out on the ramp and walking out there, there are lots of very hazardous fluids on the ground, truly toxic stuff, hydraulic fluid, oil, brake fluid, you name it, right? Oils from other vehicles and everything else. So it can get pretty bad. So I always treat these as biohazard, right? Not to mention the lavatories on the floor are really not clean. So I treat these as biohazard. They don't go anywhere in the house. But in order to clean them, the first step is to clean them. So first, you should remove your shoe tree. Again, the shoe tree should be of good quality. I've purchased many different shoe trees over the years, and there is a distinct difference between affordable and cheap and expensive shoe trees. And the difference comes in how they stress the shoe on the inside. The higher the quality, the more neutral the stress, and the more it'll hold the proper shape of the shoe without bending it in a manner that would be unnatural, right? That you don't want that. So I find it that any rag will do, any cotton rag will do, but I do personally like old socks. You got them around, and they're black, so you can't go wrong with that. A little bit of water, so you get it nice and moist, and just remove some of the dust, right? This is not anything too crazy right now. We're just removing the dust and any kind of dirt that may be on the outside and the sole. Next step would be for sure to remove the laces. You could do this before you clean it as well. That'd be fine. How you lace your shoe also makes a big difference in its overall appearance. I do enjoy this method of lacing. It is more of the showroom style, and it is a little bit less friendly to tie the shoe. It takes a little bit more wiggling of the laces, but I do find that an overall appearance to be of a higher aesthetic quality. I do enjoy that. The laces themselves, you can also just get a little bit of water and then just clean it lightly, not too aggressive. Laces do have wax to hold them in place, and when the wax is not strong enough, not good enough, it is time to replace the laces. So do keep that in mind, and you will know that because your shoes are not going to stay very tight, right? The laces are going to get loose. Very important to be meticulous when you're working here on the inside. It's that finer attention to detail that will set you apart at the end of the day with the overall finish, right? Okay, so now that we have dusted it off and lightly cleaned, the shoe tree should go back in. And the reason for that is, if you need to press down on any part of the shoe, it's going to be solid on the inside, and it's going to give you a very good amount of pressure and resistance to work against, right? So that's important. Next step would be to hydrate the shoe. Depending on how often you hydrate your leather will depend on how this step should go. If you do it somewhat frequently, you can just let the leather absorb the product for 5-10 minutes, and then you just buff it off. If the leather is cracking and is extremely dry, do highly recommend it that you leave it for 24 hours to really hydrate the leather. Now, like I said earlier, depending on the quality of the product will deeply impact how fast you can get the job done. I like the higher end product because it lasts a really long time, makes the job a lot quicker, you can get the job done a lot faster, and it saves me time. This is the Renovateur from Saphir, and top of the line product. Kind of on the expensive side, but it is unbelievable. Smells amazing, and the impact it has on the leather is absolutely amazing. Little bit goes a long way, and you just massage it into the leather like so. One very important thing to keep in mind as you're doing this is that odds are you're not going to be really good at it for quite a while. So it does take practice, quite a bit of practice, for you to learn how to properly shine, how to work with the leather that is specific to your shoe. I have many different leather shoes, and they all shine very differently. They absorb different. They have a different sheen at the end of it. They have different colors. Luckily, though, the black is obviously just black, so we don't have to worry much about color. We'll address that next. So one thing you'll notice is when the shoe is relatively well hydrated, it's not going to be absorbing the product quickly. A lot of it is just going to be staying on top of the skin, which is good, right? You definitely don't want to wait till your leather is cracking. The other thing too is the better you take care of your shoe, the longer it will last. And as you acquire higher quality shoes, you'll definitely want to take care of it, right? It can last a very long time, especially these gorgeous Allen Edmonds. You can send them in to get them rebuilt, and they come back brand new. It's amazing. All right, so we'll let this one absorb it for just a minute while I tackle the other shoe. All right, now that I've taken care of the other shoe, I'm gonna go ahead and just lightly buff this off. Try to use a clean part of the my sock over here, my old one. And again, you're not removing anything, you're not getting too crazy, you're just buffing it off a little bit, removing any excess conditioner that may be left in there. And when I'm doing this, folks, just letting you know, when I'm doing this kind of on a maintenance basis, it's a great time to maybe listen to a podcast, watch some YouTube video of guys shining their shoes while you're shining your shoe. Again, a good horsehair brush will go a long way here. And just, removing the excess conditioner on the leather. Now, this product is so good that honestly, a lot of times, just to this step alone, we yield such a shine, such a beautiful finish that would be enough, for most people. I keep going, especially to protect the shoe. Like I said, my environment is particularly different from the normal environment. If it's raining out there, you got to go outside and inspect something on your aircraft. It's just what you got to do. If it's snowing, it's just what you got to do. If it's 120 Fahrenheit and the ground is like 160, it's just what you got to do. So, really important to protect and condition. But I can tell you, this is already looking amazing. I'm always impressed by how beautiful it looks just after hydrating. Looks amazing. All right, next step. Now, depending on the color of the leather will determine the next step. If your black leather is looking a little faded, you may want to rejuvenate it with some black. This is Cream Surfine by Saphir. So you can just rejuvenate with some black. Right now, this is a very healthy leather. It's looking really good. Nothing is faded. There are many different colors. And you can, on the lighter toned leather, you can change the color of the leather slightly. Make it a little bit lighter, make it a little bit darker. So use the cream that will fit the build, the mission you're trying to accomplish, right? What do you want to make it darker? Do you want to make it more red, burgundy, you name it? Lots of options. I have several different colors, but obviously for today, I'll be sticking with the black. Next would be the actual product that will give us the proper shine, right? And I'm using the Mirror Gloss at this time around. And this is where that experience factor will really weigh in. For the Mirror Gloss, what you would like to do for this part, this step in the process, you don't want to put too much on the areas that the shoe naturally cracks, because you do not want to create a hard surface of wax that will very quickly crack as you start walking. It's just not going to look good. You can, however, apply a little bit. And this is where the Oxford toe really sets it apart, because typically it's just not going to break. So you can really focus on the cap toe, and it gives it that really good look, right? So a little bit goes a long way. And what you will want to do is apply it in layers, okay? That's what you will want to do. The secret is layers. Now, I'm using the gloves right now, but you can honestly do this with your fingers. It's really nice to do it with your fingers without the gloves, because you're gonna get to feel the leather and feel the wax being absorbed into the leather, and you're gonna get a good feel for the leather as well. Now, obviously, I'm working with a lot of electronic equipment right now, so I'm just gonna keep the gloves on. That way, when I'm finished, I can just very quickly take the gloves off and work with the electronic equipment. If you're working on many of these, you know, it's up to you whether you want to use the gloves or not. It definitely is a lot cleaner. Now, the waxes will have different consistencies. So some of them you can push really hard into the can, into the holder here, and not much will come out of your finger. Some of them, a lot will come out. So it depends. It depends on the wax, will determine how much will come off in your fingers. The other thing too is, with the gloves, I'm picking a little bit less, so I'm having to use what appears to be more product, but there's very little product here on the gloves. Very, very little product. This is the step that will, the experience will definitely make the biggest difference. As I've done this over time, what I've noticed is that there are a few really important things you want to keep in mind. Number one is that less is more. Number two is very light pressure, because you do not want to take away the layers that you just put down as you are doing this process, right? Remember, you're layering. So if you're putting a lot of pressure right now, then you're just removing the wax from before. With regards to the rags, folks, what I've learned over time is that you can do it with the socks, you can do it with any cotton rag, really, but when the weave is very tight, it makes for a glass, it makes it easier to achieve a glass finish. The other thing too, depending on the size of the rag and depending on the material, will impact how you make it go around your fingers and your hands. So this one is not too big, so right here, this will do. The other thing too is the contact surface, making it very, try to make it as even as possible, as smooth as possible. That will help you do a good job. Just one little bit of water here, and we can go ahead and remove the thin layer that we put. So remember, we're not going with a lot of force here. You know, the objective is to not remove the layer that we just put. It's just to give it a light buff. And the buff and the water will just make it work it into the leather, will even out the wax, and slowly the shine just comes out and it looks amazing. Right. Yeah, so you see, when I was talking about quality of the product, right? I mean, the shine that I was able to achieve with one pass is sometimes difficult to achieve with other products, lower quality products. So this one just makes it so easy. But what we're gonna do here is gonna do another layer real quick. That one was really thin. So just the same thing as we just did. Very gentle force. A little bit goes a long way. And then we'll remove it. just did that that step once again in the exact same way. And as you can tell, the shine is, I hope you can tell, the shine is just looking amazing. So what we're gonna work on next is just going on that next level shine right on the cap tail, right? So make that sparkle, make it look really good. To do that, again, you can use a little bit of the rag to apply the wax or not. It's really up to you. You don't have to. Now, the key here is very light pressure. The lighter the pressure, the more the previous layer will remain on the shoe, and the better it will look. It is patience goes a long way. Goes a long way. Very gentle, easy does it, right? A little bit of water will sometimes really help soften the wax and blend the wax. And then as far as the water that you want to put with it, it's literally a drop of water. I'm not even squeezing the bottle there, the trigger. I'm just placing one drop of water. The water and the wax will kind of melt together. It'll help blend the layers. And now it's just a game of patience and light pressure. Very relaxing to do this. I thoroughly enjoy it. Again, less is more. You don't want to try to expedite the process and put too much product there, and then put a lot of pressure or put a lot of water. It's not going to be faster than the natural process. All right, the shine is coming in, and it's looking beautiful. I'll do a few more layers, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, folks, and the last step, heel and sole edge dressing. Apply it to your liking, nice and easy, not much of a secret to it. Just make sure you're not applying way too much and having it drip or run down your shoe, yeah? So the other thing too is that these little bottles, they don't like it when they don't get used often, so just keep that in mind. And that's it, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this quick video on how to shine your shoe. I do find it to be one of those life skills and incredibly important skill, especially as you develop it over time and you can just learn to really love the process of transforming your shoe, and especially those of different colors of leather. You can make them darker, you can make them lighter, and depending on how you apply it, you can give it different shades. So it gets really interesting when you're working with different colors. The black, though, obviously just a classic and a staple of the dedicated professional. I do appreciate you tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed it. This low-key, nice video. And until next time, folks, as always, fly safe.